Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You got that whole Amish thing looking going on now.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this thing. What Kevin
Doing
Owens was doing is that he's growing the beard out long, but keeping this part here short and this part here short. And I just shaved this off literally this morning, um, because I don't like
it.
a thick mustache. It just
Yeah,
gets
I
out.
don't mind mine getting a little bit. I ain't had a mustache in a long time, but I don't mind. But when it starts getting like real, thick and heavy on the mouth, it's like I gotta go.
Just lost the Universal page. We're no longer live on the Universal page. And I just got done sharing it too. Ah,
Okay.
oh well. That's what happens.
Technology.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
gonna apologize ahead of time. I'm waiting on a phone call from my son. He's in Jackson, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. He gets a call on Sunday, so we haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. So I'm sure he's going to call sometime during this live broadcast. So
that'd be just your luck, wouldn't it?
yeah, it's usually the way it works.
Okay, so we are going to try to breeze through this. We got less than an hour and a half, and we are going to be covering the two events from yesterday. A lot of things happening. A lot of things happening. Some good, some not so good.
Yeah, and before we came on air, Jeremy was telling me that we hadn't reviewed Night of Champions, so we're going to kind of touch on that as well and try to get. It's going to be a tall order to get an hour and a half, three events in an hour and a half. Which Saturday night's main event not going to be that bad. Um, so let's start off with Night of Champions real quick, and
We're looking at a total of 15 matches to touch on, but we'll try to keep it to like less than 5 minutes per match.
uh,
All right, Night of Champions. Interesting event. First, being in Saudi Arabia. Um, at the Kingdom Arena, they had roughly 25,000 people there. What was interesting about this is the fact that CM Punk wrestled, um, when a few years ago he was making some comments on what was then Twitter about WWE going to Saudi Arabia. Um, but that got settled. That got settled the day before. He ended up making a formal apology to all of Saudi
Saudi.
Arabia. Yeah. So now it seems like he's widely accepted over there now.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's like when we go abroad, and it's not just the U.S. It seems like a lot of these places are just fans are like electrified. I mean, they were there in people singing the themes and all the wrestlers coming out and
Hmm.
the interaction, the crowd interaction with the wrestlers and all during the show is like just crazy loud. At some point in times, you couldn't even hear the music uh, from the crowd singing along with the themes and all, which I'm sure gets adrenaline really flowing for the wrestlers coming out.
I'm sure it does, especially Randy Orton. His seems to be the most popular.
Yeah,
They are always singing it, and they're starting to sing that here in the U.S. too. Have you noticed that?
I have.
Um, so I am glad that the American audience is finally starting to step up because the people in France, the people in Germany, everywhere over there, they're
Everywhere.
making us look bad as an audience.
I guess we take it for granted, a lot where they don't get that many events. You know,
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Uh, Still trying to get this thing shared out to other places
gotcha.
um, since
Can
we're
you
no longer live on the Universal page, and that was where I was sharing from. Oh, that's frustrating. So, all right, first match is the King of the Ring finals. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Uh, you had a tally sheet as to what we were predicting. I
yeah, I did.
We were both saying Randy Orton.
Here we go. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, I think we
Uh,
were both saying Randy Orton for this one because we thought this would
yeah,
be Randy's chance of redemption against Gunther, and now that's not going to happen.
no, yeah, we had both had Randy winning that one. So we got that one wrong. Cody wound up winning that one. Really good match
Yes, it
all the way
was.
through. A good match to start the card off with, especially with the crowd noise.
Yeah,
Just,
and we saw little hints here and there of Randy turning heel. He did this exact same thing as what uh, Kevin did last year, where he was ready to do some of his really big stuff and hesitated, and because of that hesitation, Cody ended up winning. So we saw
mhm.
that exact same thing here.
And I mean, even if he does turn heel, I mean, you're still going to have the crowd. He's one of those guys. Hey, Joe,
Thanks, Joe.
nice beard.
Yeah, and I'm going to be going it out for a little while. Sometimes I get a little tired of it, so I don't know how long I'll keep it. You just take it on a day to day basis. I think even if Randy does turn heel, the fans will still be very much behind him.
Yeah. And we've said it before. The days of the true heel and true babyface are fans booing this one, but there's you still got some that are definitely heel everybody likes, but you got certain individuals that are wrestlers that it doesn't matter good or bad, they're still going to have a big
Yeah.
crowd support.
Well, with Randy especially because he is at that stage in his career where he is just universally loved.
Right.
So
The day Cody turns heel, I don't know how that's
I
going to.
still see him becoming a major heel at some point. Even he said here in the next year or so he'll probably turn um, because it is going to get stale, and to me, it's already kind of stale.
You gotta mix it up once in a while. Taker did it in his career, um, and he had went through many changes as far as the Undertaker's persona. Uh, and he went through American Badass and then back to Taker. And he had a bunch of. He was still Taker, but he was different. You know, every time he'd leave and come back, he was different. The character was different. Both of them.
With Cody, he's been throwing more of an edge to his persona, and I think that's what's keeping him going for the time being. But eventually, he is going to have to turn.
Yeah.
Okay, next match: Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez street fight.
This one was wild. Of course, being over in Saudi, everybody knows that all the women had to be completely covered from basically neck down.
Yeah.
Um, so that probably helped out a little bit on some of those shots they were taking back and forth. Uh,
Oh, Raquel was with the candlestick.
oh my dear Lord! I was like, that had to leave some marks. There's no way where he was tied up in the ropes. There's no way they didn't leave marks.
Yeah, that was that was
That
brutal.
was brutal. Yeah.
Uh, and this is the one that you and I were differing on. You were saying Raquel was going to win. I was saying Rhea's going to win. But we were both saying each was going to win for the same reason because of Roxanne Perez interfering, which she did, but
Hmm.
she wasn't the ultimate reason for the pinfall.
Correct.
Um,
I
but
don't have.
doing the
I'm,
riptide off the table that was on the top rope, that was pretty cool.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. I
And
was,
the balancing act on that whole thing too.
yeah. Well, there was a second there. I didn't think that table was going to hold the way that it was set up.
Must have been one of the tables that weren't scored in the bottom.
Yeah. Um, and I was really curious to see if they, since with it being a street fight, if they was going to take it out into the crowd. They never did.
No,
Uh,
they stayed pretty much around the ring and did all their business right around there, which is still a brutal match.
yeah. There's no doubt that Rhea especially had some welts on her stomach.
Oh, had to.
Yeah. Um, Good match. It definitely showed the aggression in Raquel, which is what she really needed. Because for the longest time, she was all smiles and happy go lucky and everything. But for somebody of her size and structure, she, she needs to be a bitch.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, she needs to really get that aggressiveness out in the ring and not just be the tag along. It seems like she's been for quite a while.
right.
Uh,
So I was happy to see that side of her in this match, and now I'm really curious to see, especially since they made it official that Raquel and Roxanne are now the tag team champions. So that's going to be interesting to see how
okay,
that goes tonight.
okay. I didn't get to see. I didn't watch Raw last week, and don't know. I don't think even watched SmackDown. Did some highlights. So kind of following along with what's been going on leading up to this week.
Yeah, I've been trying to follow along. So since Liv is out for a few months, Roxanne has taken her place. So I think they're going to be losing the belts tonight.
That's what Joe just said. Probably
Yeah,
that's what I would say. Um, who knows? The way they do things. They've been pretty good at surprising on some things.
they have been. Yeah,
So who do you think's going to win tonight? Not to jump the gun. You think it's
tonight,
going to be
Alexa,
Alyssa and Flair?
Alexa and Flair. So Ruka and Zarya, and Asuka and Kairi. Honestly, I can see any of those three winning the titles.
Now
Um,
here's the thing: if Soruka winds up her team winds up winning, that means they come up to the main roster.
uh,
They would have to.
that's a good point. Maybe they should do that.
I don't see them letting her win. One, because they are in NXT. Two, she's already got. Is that the one that's got two belts?
Yeah, she's got two belts, the North
Yeah.
American
If she gets a
title and the
she gets
speed.
a third.
But
And
here's the thing: they could do with Soul what AEW has been doing with some of their people. Uh, Mercedes, she's got like five belts now. She five or six of them. Dustin Rhodes now has three. He won the TNT title last night. So this would actually be a good opportunity for them to have somebody with multiple belts. And what would be unique about this is that each belt is on a separate brand. So the North American title is in NXT. The tag titles, well, technically it's supposed to go across the board, but it's really um, main roster. And then the speed title
mhm.
is the speed brand, although they don't really recognize that
Now, is it,
the main roster. But in actuality, I think it'll end up being Charlotte and Alexa winning.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for Bliss to, go to.
Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are now the tag team champions.
Okay.
They beat Street Profits Friday night.
Okay. Cool. Well, then
So
at least they're doing something with that faction.
yes, well that I'm really happy because I really like Dexter. Um, Although it's kind of different with how he's doing it now. Although he fits, but I really like what he did with that silent serial killer look that he had before,
Hmm.
and the way that he would crawl across the ring when he would get in it. You remember that?
I
He
don't.
he would slide into the ring and then he would just use his fist to maneuver his way around like a snake. Um, in fact, really, there's a lot of him that reminds me of Jake the Snake. Of course, I know that, Joe.
That's what I told him at the beginning of the show. I asked him to
He
come down here
did.
and build me a barn.
He did. Now, well, actually, I have a hat that I actually got two of those kinds of hats, so it will really make it sink in a little more on that one. But yeah, I think Charlotte and Alexa will end up winning the titles because the way that they are being put together is reminiscent of how Sheamus and Cesaro were put together when they were feuding, and then all of a sudden they were told, "Okay, you're going to be a tag team." We don't want to be a tag team. They end up being a great tag team together.
Yeah.
So, all right, next, where am I? Night of Champions.
Sami Zayn and Karrion Cross.
That was a good match. I
That's
thought for
good.
sure Karrion would win,
That's what I thought. I didn't see Sammy winning that one. Uh, and both of us had Karrion Cross winning that one. So
but it does kind of make sense because of where they were at. Um, because Sammy is super over there. So maybe the Saudis wouldn't take too kindly to Sammy not winning. I don't know. So so I think that with him winning this match was probably a safe bet on their part.
right.
but they're still continuing on with the feud, and I I think eventually Karrion will get a win, and then they will have a big rubber match, big blow off match. Uh, Jacob Fatu defending the United States title against Solo Sequoia. Sokoa. Um,
Uh,
I was shocked by this one. I thought for sure Jacob they weren't going to take the belt off of Jacob.
well, and that's the way I was going with it too. But I see where they're building a better story or a better story for the whole thing. Now Solo's got it. He's got yet another uh, Samoan in there, and that's the guy is freaking huge.
Yeah,
Uh,
I I can never he Coolio, but he's now being called Tala Tonga.
right.
And Tala is actually a part of his real name. And then Tonga Loa made his return.
Yeah, I see where they're kind of going with this. I would not be surprised. I was expecting it last night, but somewhere down the line, I see Jimmy, Jay, uh,
Roman,
Roman, and Jacob feuding with Solo's group.
like maybe another War Games match.
Yeah,
Yeah, finally getting the War Games match that we should have gotten last year.
and everybody is the Samoan family.
Yeah. Well, all they need is two more, so they can do the 5 on 5.
Unless they leave it to 4-4. Yeah.
Yeah. But
But yeah,
Solo is the new U.S. champion, and in a way, I'm actually kind of glad because he's earned it.
well,
Uh,
it gives you so much more depth on the storyline than just um, all of them not having a title in their group, and what are you going for?
right,
Um,
and the fact that he hasn't had a WrestleMania match yet, that's what I'm upset about because he should have had a WrestleMania match the last 2 years.
well, if they do it right, and I think they will, um, they got a lot of time to lead up to Roman coming back and having that whole Samoan Civil War, like Joe just said,
Right.
at WrestleMania.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully at some point Paul Heyman will come back into it. But now he had Paul was betrayed by Solo. Then he turns around and betrays Roman. So it would make for a very interesting story as to how he's going to get back into the middle of all of it.
Well, not getting ahead of the game, but they got their own little issues now. We'll get cover that in a little bit.
Yeah. So Solo's the U.S. champion. Um, I think he deserves it, but at the same time, I'm shocked that they took it off of Jacob this soon. So it is what
Wonder,
it is.
wonder if Rikishi had anything to say on that one. I always like Rikishi. You know,
He's had a lot to say about a lot of things lately.
he has.
Okay, next match. This one was a little hard to watch.
Yeah,
Jake Gill and Asuka.
this was to me the worst one in the group.
It
Wasn't a
was
bad match, but it was kind of took the wind out a little bit. I kind of expected Jay to wind up winning this one. Um, what I had.
yeah.
think we both had Jade winning this one. Yep.
I think so too, because I can see Jade winning at SummerSlam and then Naomi cashing in on her. And those two also have a match tonight, which we'll get into that here a little bit later. Um, for me, this is hard to watch because we all know that Asuka is very intense, very high pace, and it was like she was. You could see her struggling to really slow down to keep up with Jade's pace.
Right.
Um, I felt bad for her. Definitely should have had somebody else in there with Jade instead of Asuka. Although, if I were to pick, I think Asuka would have been the better choice to be Queen of the Ring. Because when she gets in the ring, she owns it.
Yeah. And
Uh,
she's got a lot of crowd support. I think the Jade is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the crowd is behind her. I think she's more of a heel.
it definitely seems like that at times. Either that or the crowd is not liking her legitimately.
Right. And that kind of leads me to, tonight with the no hold bar or street fight. It's a street fight, isn't it?
It is, well, they're both the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Uh, it's listed as a no holds barred, and Bianca Belair is the guest
Yes.
referee,
Yeah.
which
That's where I look for Bianca to turn on
I,
Jade tonight.
yes, I think this is finally going to be that time, and this is where it's going to go into what I have been saying that Bianca was really the one that attacked Jade, and Naomi's the one who's taking the fall for it. That's what I have been calling since day one.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. Um, I agree. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be they're going to have to really bring a match into that. I want to see how Jade does with bringing chairs and whatever else into the match,
If
and
if
hopefully nobody will
if
get
I,
injured.
I can easily see that match being the main event tonight. It'll really end up being Io and Rhea, I think, but I can also see Jade and Naomi being the main event because of what what I think is going to happen.
Right.
Um, but I get the whole thing with what they're doing with Jade being like a generational talent. I disagree, but she is definitely a generational. Well, let me take that back. They are touting her as a generational wrestler, but I see her as a generational persona.
I don't see the way it sits right now. I don't see her being a main player down the line. There's something about her character that just doesn't sit right. It's like charisma or something's just not. I mean, she looks the part. Don't get me wrong. She looks,
Definitely looks the part. Yeah,
but there's something missing.
I I think that for her, it's she has a bit of an ego. Now I don't know if that's just what she's supposed to be like. Um, but that's how I'm perceiving it. She's got a hell of a look. There is no question on that. Um, has she's got the look. Um,
I think what hurt her, and even now, is like uh,
it
when
seems
they
like
first signed her, they
it was
really
too
pushed her
hard.
pushed her out there quick.
Yeah, they're doing with her what they did with Roman years ago, and I think that might be why fans are kind of pushing back on that. But that's just my opinion. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely looking for Bianca to turn on Jade, and maybe then that will get the fans behind Jade more because now Naomi, who had always been extremely popular, is heel.
Right.
Bianca, extremely popular, turning heel. So maybe this will get the fans behind Jade a little more. Who knows?
Yeah, and having that whole thing, that would be a good push for Jade at this point in time.
It would be. Um, but that is not going to help with as far as what she can do in the ring. She is still not up at that level like Naomi and Bianca. She's okay, and she has improved. I saw the improvement in her back at WrestleMania, but she's still not quite at
Still
that.
not there.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. It'll be interesting to see. John
Last
Cena
match.
versus CM Punk, much better match than John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Um, the thing that I didn't care for, especially, was when Penta was coming down. Um, because Seth had gotten involved and
Hmm.
Braun and Bronson. Then here comes Penta, who it doesn't make sense why he would get involved in this match. Now, I know he's had his issues with Seth and Braun, but the way that he was coming down and then doing his little strut when he should have been running down at full pace,
Correct.
to me that ruined the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're coming down there to help out or interfere or whatever, you ain't got time to match down.
right. A lot of people were comparing that to how Jeff Hardy made his debut in AEW to rescue Matt because Matt was getting his ass beat and Jeff ran down and then he was doing this thing and then sprinted. So a lot of people were comparing the Penta thing to that.
Yeah. Well, that type of thing, you're going to get more of an explosion from fans and everything else. If you, like Jeff Hardy, just going down and running down. It's that whole shock value.
Yeah. So and also when Penta did it, Bronson was still beating up on Punk, and Braun came out to go up the ramp to Penta.
Mhm.
Now that to me that kind of ruined the whole thing. But the match itself, I thought was really good.
Yeah, and you had that little, was it this match where where was it? Where Cena looked in the camera and all that. Was that this one or was that some? Or I'm thinking somewhere else.
Uh, I don't remember.
But anyway, and we knew the outcome. They're not going to pull it off of Cena just yet. It wouldn't make sense until his last match to lose the title on his last match out. Because that's just the way it does. You retire, you drop the belt, you retire, you lose your last match.
Speaking of his last match, there was a report put out saying that the internal talk is Gunther will be his last match.
Oh shit.
I don't see that. I see them going head to head at some point, but I don't see Gunther being the last match. But they're kind of the way I forget who released it. It wasn't Dave Meltzer because then I wouldn't have brought it up. Um, but people are thinking that okay, in 1 year, Gunther retires Goldberg, and then he'll retire John Cena. Um, I think that would be a great match. Gunther has a way of making everybody look good. He certainly did that with Goldberg last night. But I
Yeah, but
don't.
is this,
He,
would that be the point in time where Cena goes back babyface
he would have to go back to being babyface.
uh, right before that match?
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how they would go about that.
He's going to have a whole lot of butt kissing to get the crowd, the entire crowd back under him. He's still got, the fans, some of the fans on his side, even though he's a heel.
He does.
He's been coming out every show, every time he's out there. It's like just dogging fans,
Mhm.
left and right. Just
The fans are loving it.
yeah, it's kind of like when The Rock turned when the whole thing a couple years ago with Kobe. You know, with that he turned from babyface to heel in a split second, and it was just the old Rock heel, and it was like, gosh, this is
Oh, and
freaking
that was
magic.
The Rock's best stuff too.
Yeah,
Okay, that's Night of Champions. Now we got the Great American Bash. How much of Great American Bash did you actually get to watch?
I got to watch all of it. I finished up the replay just before we came on.
Okay,
Uh,
so to give a little bit of history of Great American Bash, where they were at was at um, what's it called? Called Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the same place where they had WCW Saturday Night every week. This is that same stage where they had their Saturday night show.
uh, I haven't watched very many NXT PLEs. Say the right word this time. Uh, so I'm still learning a lot on the wrestling characters and all that. I will say this: this was better than Saturday Night's Main Event by far. Um,
Yes, I yeah, I'll agree to that.
it was a really good action-packed show. Um, there's regular WWE SmackDown Raw shows that aren't. Every match is not like the one that just saw on NXT. Every match was good.
There's been many times where they would do the NXT people on Saturdays and then the Raw and SmackDown people on Sunday for their pay per views, and NXT would outshow them many times because they had a lot more to prove.
Yeah, and they leave it all out there, the formers and all. I mean, it doesn't look like a say minor league show per se. Minor league, you know.
Some of the shit that they do on those shows, it's downright dangerous, especially to the audience. There was one match where they had all of these light tubes hanging down, and they would take them and smash them on each other.
Oh yeah,
And people are breathing in that stuff. That is glass dust,
yeah.
and
Uh,
people in the audience are breathing that shit in.
you're talking about your small house shows or your indie house shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, indie house shows, man. It's like ECW ish type wrestling.
yeah.
Um,
If
now,
if I ever
indie,
went to an independent show like that and I see them starting bringing all these fluorescent tubes out, I'm leaving. I am not gonna be there for that because I don't want to breathe that in. So
They're all filled with gas. Not the well, you ain't got it. You got LEDs now, but those
right,
little fluorescent bulbs are filled with gas. You ain't supposed to breathe that shit in.
right. So anyway, on to Great American Bash. The opening match was Javon Evans versus Jasper Troy. Now, Jasper Troy, he literally just debuted a few weeks ago after winning the LFG Legends and Future Greats, and already he has been thrust into that main event spot. So he's got a great look. He looks like he's been wrestling for 10 years. This guy is really, really good.
Antonio Frazier is his real name. Born in Huffman, Texas.
Yeah. I want to say he was a football player. Yeah, he was a college football player.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Texas A&M, University of Kansas, North Iowa.
so he's doing really good for himself already. I look for big, big things to come out of him. I would not be surprised at this point if he becomes WWE champion at some time.
A champion or like the champion?
The what?
You said a champion or the champion?
The WWE champion at some point in his
Really?
like right now. Just what I've seen of him, I can easily see him being the guy at some point. Um, in the match that he had with Javon Evans, it was a David versus Goliath match. It was really good. Um, I was actually kind of surprised to see that Javon got the win because I thought for sure they would be pushing Jasper as this big monster heel, which
Mm-hmm.
um, but all in all, I thought it was a good match. But to me, it was probably the best match of the night.
Really? I got another one that I think is was the best and a close second. Um, so I would say that to me on mine was probably third.
Yeah. Well, then we got the next match where Soruka.
So Luca.
Oh
She
yeah,
has become one of my favorite female wrestlers.
same here.
Way she and we were discussing it before we come on air about the women's division, where it's came in the past 20 years. Of course, they got their own show tonight, uh, uh, but it's so much different than it was back in the Attitude Era, where it was all just bra and panty matches and Jello matches, and you're just there for looks.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, she's got the looks, but she's also got the moves too.
yeah, and you can see the gymnastics background and what she does. Some of the stuff that she does is just it's crazy.
I'm still amazed by what she did. I think it was Stand and Deliver, where her opponent was out of the ring and so looked like she was going to run the ropes and do a suicide dive, but instead she did like three backflips in the ring and then backflipped out of
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was
yeah.
wow. She did a thing off the turnbuckle on Great American Bash where she kind of did this backflip and wound up hitting her opponent down on the ground. It's like, my God, how does she even? And there was another time she did her Karana outside. And I was like, how in the hell did she not land on her damn head? Because
So
she's tall, too,
she's 5'8",
compared to the rest of the women.
right? And, and she is in a relationship with Tyler Bate. You know him, right?
Mm-mm.
Tyler, you know the tag team that they've been doing lately with Pete Dunne and the other guy.
I'm looking at it, looking it up now.
Well, Tyler Bate is a short guy. He's like 2 inches shorter than Soul is.
Goodness, that's a short guy.
Oh, and I didn't even realize this. So Ruka was born. Oh no, never mind, never mind, never mind.
She's born in Ontario, California.
Yeah, I saw Ontario and I immediately thought, oh, she's Canadian.
Yeah,
But no, Ontario, California. So yeah. Well, there
Alex
is no
Frankie
doubt
Hampton.
he's going to be
From,
a big star.
oh yeah, Bill
Uh,
from Hawaii.
I see her being a Royal Rumble winner at some point.
She was says she's biracial. Her father's African American musician Paul A. Hampton. Uh, she has a brother named Coda. She graduated from Western Christian High School in Upland, California. Human psychology is her major.
When it says that her father is African American, but I got a picture of him pulled up. He doesn't look African American, so I'm thinking he's biracial too. Um,
Yeah, it's very well possible, and that may be why she doesn't look biracial.
right.
Um, but on the flip side of it, I mean, the stuff she does, like I said, is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the Soul Snatcher she did at Great American Bash. It seemed like it wasn't the usual. It was kind of off just a little bit.
Well, maybe she's
Um,
saving some of her bigger stuff for Evolution tonight, which I wouldn't blame her.
damn, she was man, it seemed like every time you turned around, she was doing something crazy.
Right.
At one point in time, it looked like some of her outfit had come apart. Some kind of strings were hanging down all over the place. And like, tear that shit off. I got tired of
Oh
looking at it. I was
yeah,
like,
I did notice
get,
that.
somebody's gonna get tangled up in that crap.
Yeah, I did notice that. But I'm very curious to see now how things are going to go with Tatum Paxley because Saul and Zarya trying to get Tatum away from Izzy and the Colin is yeah, kind of hard to describe everything,
Yeah,
but something is going to end up happening. Um, but I cannot wait for Soul to make that move up to the main roster. She is going to be. I think she'll be on the same level as Rhea, Charlotte. I don't see how she could
yeah,
not be.
yeah. They could bring her up there and put her right in the mix of stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be phenomenal.
So I cannot wait for her to get called up.
And you know she's gonna be a baby face, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, up next we got the Falls Count Anywhere match with Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. That was a good match.
That was a match, and I had, well, I had about two matches at that point. It was like, the women's match, Soul Ruka, the match was like, oh my God, this is going to be the best match of the night. But then the Falls Count Anywhere, it was insane what they were doing. I really thought, I don't even know which one it was in the match, um, when they set the two chairs up and they had the backs to it touching each other, and he
Oh,
slammed him right on his back to it. And I was like, oh my god!
Ricky, yeah, that was,
I was like, oh my god! There's no way that didn't freaking hurt like hell.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing else hit. You didn't have no give far as like your feet landing or your hands landing. Back. It was just all back right in the middle of those chairs.
They even did a replay. Oh, no, 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 no.
They
Uh,
did do a replay of that.
did they?
Yeah.
Okay, because there was a few times where I opened up a second screen so that I could do my own replay on some of this stuff,
Mhm.
and you could see the way that Ricky's back bent backwards when the look on his face, that was legit.
Yeah.
He was hurting.
I guarantee you, both of those guys are sore as hell
Oh yeah,
after that match.
oh yeah.
That,
Probably Ricky more so than Ethan because Ricky went through some shit on this one.
yeah,
Uh,
it's the first time I've seen a guardrail be brought into the ring and used in that fashion.
I
Uh,
think you might be right. I don't recall
I've
seeing it.
never seen a guardrail. I've seen it used on the outside, but I've never seen it brought into the ring.
Yeah,
So it's definitely something new.
and then Jasper Troy at one point was involved. But he was only in it for like 10 seconds.
Hmm.
Um, but what really got me was when Ethan did the Razor's Edge off the stage. Now, when they went up there, I could have sworn I seen a crash pad down there, and thought,
That's
okay,
what I thought.
yeah, I could have sworn that's what I saw. And then when he was doing the Razor's Edge, I thought, okay, he's going on the crash pad. Then I see those tables there, and that's what he goes to. Him. Holy shit!
Yeah, not to mention, when they went out of the ring and went to the concessions area, and they slammed. Somebody got slammed on the merchandise table, tore it to hell.
Yeah. Which I think that might have been Ricky going through that one too.
Like, good lord!
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many tables they broke. I know they broke that one. They broke the two at the end. I think there was another one they broke right somewhere in the middle.
Broke the merchandise table.
Bent the damn
They were on the bar
food barrier.
one time, right before that merchandise table. Uh, they actually went backstage twice during that match.
Hmm.
Let's see. I think the ring steps were involved.
Yeah, ring steps were involved. Many chairs.
Yeah, a lot of chairs.
Every
Um,
time I turned around, they were throwing another chair in the ring.
and on the ramp,
Yeah,
they went.
Tornado DDT up there on the stage area.
Yeah,
That was right before the Razor's Edge.
that Razor's Edge. That one. Ricky's going to be needing a couple weeks off after all that, especially for the two chairs thing.
Yeah,
That was, and then I saw a clip on AEW. Somebody else did the same thing. They put two chairs back to back like that. I didn't see
I
the
could
actual move, but I saw the chairs being put together. Nope.
I could see easily using that type of prop and all that, and throwing them down on their stomach.
Mhm.
It'd be a lot easier to take on your stomach than it would be here. your back.
It would, and the stomach, your stomach would hurt, but at least you got a lot of cushion
But
there.
you're also bending, around it, to help with the impact.
Yeah, you can bend more naturally that way.
Right.
The way that Ricky did, that was not natural.
No, not at all. To me, that was one of the better matches, if not the best match of the night.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will call that the best match of the night.
It
Um,
was long. Well, it was next to last. Next to longest, 14:46.
yeah,
So they're all pretty close in time frame. So Roka match wouldn't be 11:43.
much. Yeah. Yep. Okay,
So
next match. Olafemi versus Yoshiki Inamura.
that was a good match. A lot of near falls that I thought, oh
Yeah,
well, that's it, that's it. When they kick out, I was like, holy shit, they just keep on going. Of course, you had the interference and all uh, with Josh Briggs, I guess.
yeah, Josh
Yeah,
Briggs.
Josh Briggs.
He's the one that I'm really expecting some big things out of. So to see him kind of playing second fiddle doesn't sit right with me. I see him being a major player.
Well, I think they're fixing to kind of push that a little bit because the backstage stuff after the match was over. Him and Oba got into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I see something's supposed to happen Tuesday night. With that whole thing. Um,
Oba did say that Yoshiki will get another match. He did say that. Um, and I like Yoshiki. He's got a good look.
he's got a good look, I mean, he took some of Oba's best stuff and just like jumped right back up. It's like,
Yeah.
but
So
that one time when Oba was outside or not Oba, but
I would definitely like to see the rematch, but I also want to see more out of Josh.
well, that shot that Yushiki took from Oba on the outside, he was up on the ring apron, and Oba basically chopped him in the chest. Good God, that something that was loud. And even Booker says like, yeah, he's got a big old handprint, on his chest from that shot.
I'd like to see Oba versus Gunther.
That'd be a good match.
Yes, it would. Um, Up next, we're not. We already said we're not really going to talk about it, but up next they did the contract signing for the TNA title. Of course, then they did the whole. All three of them said something. All three of them get into a fight.
Yeah, the usual.
Yeah. Then Dart State got involved, and now what's going to be really interesting is that Trick, Joe, and Mike are going to be a tag team this Tuesday against Dark State.
Yeah, I don't see that's going to be an explosion. Uh, they're not going to coexist.
No, not very well at all. Um, but it's still going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I fully expected Oba and Yokishi to be the main event, but instead they had the women's tag match as the main event. And I saw this as a bit of history. First of all, it's rare that you have a tag match as the main event on any show.
hmm
But now you have four women as the main event. That's
And I
it.
think and I think that's leading up to tonight's show.
It
I think
could
it's
very well. This was
um,
Blake Monroe's debut match. and she debuted in the main event. That doesn't happen. It rarely happens.
Yeah. Uh, Jordan Grace, Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence, JC Jane and Fallon Henley.
Yeah, Fallon's the one that I like. Yeah, and then I remember talking about her last year. Um, Now, I think one of the big reasons that this match became was the main event was I was just reading about it this morning. The match that Blake had with Tony Storm at AEW Revolution. A lot of people were saying that should have been the main event. Um, that was also her last match at AEW. So I can kind of see them, and especially with the hype, the way that they hyped her up coming onto the scene and everything. So I can see that as being one of the reasons why she was brought in the main event for her first match here.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person that I am aware of that debuted on a pay per view in the main event was when Hulk Hogan went to WCW. Um,
And ironically, when we get to the to Saturday Night's main event, they were talking about um, Goldberg and Gunther match. And that was the same arena where Goldberg beat Hogan.
yeah. Um, it
This
also
match,
could be made for AJ Styles because he did debut in the Royal Rumble in the main event in the world title match. But that's the Royal Rumble. There's 30 people there. This one here is more personal.
4 to 5.
Yeah. Not a bad match. I didn't think it was a great match, but I thought it was a good match. Um, People are calling JC Jane the most beatable champion in NXT history.
Yeah, they kept throwing that out
Yeah, I
in there. I see, her and Grace as a match tonight, and I see Grace winning,
yeah.
and then or they could go the route with Jace keeping it, and then Monroe being next in line because she did pin her.
I
It'd
don't know.
be
They could do that, but I think I think Jordan will end up winning it, and then she'll lose it to Blake and move on up to the main roster.
well,
Sort of like
I
what
don't.
they did with Julia and Stephanie. They fast
And
tracked it,
Stephanie,
huh?
and Stephanie,
Yeah,
she just left.
Stephanie.
Um, if I were to pick anybody out of the women's uh, stuff to move up next, it would be Soruka.
Yeah, but she's got to lose that North American title first.
She don't have to. She can get those tag titles tonight, and they can like kind of strip her of them, and she's at the
No, they
main
could. Well,
roster.
they did that to Solo. He
Yeah,
moved up and he vacated the title. So yeah, they could do that. Um, it'll be interesting for sure. But I really like Fallon Henley. I think she should have been moved up to the main roster long before now.
and you got so many slots to fill. For somebody to move up, somebody's got to be next. Um, you got so many of all the wrestlers, male and female. You got so much on the main roster, that aren't being used on a day-to-day basis on the show. At least, on the televised version. So I'm sure they're working a lot of house shows.
What they really should do is turn NXT into the third major brand on the same level as Raw and SmackDown. Because it's very clear that the people that they have there are extremely talented. And I think a good majority are more than ready to be on the main roster.
Correct. And it's almost like it is its own. I mean, it is
So it is its
the
own
one under,
on the same level.
right? But their shows, you know, the PLEs are just as good as the others.
Right.
In my opinion, if not better in some cases.
A lot of cases, really.
So
Uh,
I mean,
but the problem is when they're doing they're doing all of their shows in the performance center. So they don't have a big crowd, and that's what they need. They need to be put in front of big crowds, and not just for their PLEs.
right.
Although I loved them being at center stage last night because of that whole Saturday night WCW Saturday night thing. Because I missed that.
You missed out on nice main event.
No, WCW Saturday night
Oh,
because that was that same venue that they were at yesterday.
well, that you got all those people there already for the other pay per view and all. So it's like um, the PLE, but yeah. So you get a little more exposure with a lot more crowd than your normal stuff.
Right.
So all in all, the Great American Bash was uh, really good. I enjoyed the show, even though I had to watch a replay. But there again, I can skip commercials and boring stuff.
I got a thing or two to say about commercials for this for last night.
Yeah, I watched it live as it was happening. I didn't watch the replay. Talking about Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night's main event. Again, Atlanta, Georgia, at the State Farm Arena. Uh, Attendance is being reported at 12,350 people. So that's a good, healthy crowd. And I love the nostalgia of what they had with their red, white, and blue ring robes. The referees in the light blue with the bow tie instead of the black and white stripes. I love that. I
Mhm.
enjoyed the entrance thing that they had. It, I just love all of that. I wish they would go back to that full time instead of what they got now. I get tired of seeing all blue robes, all red robes, that stuff. I would like to see the red, white, and blue again. Um,
So this would be number 40, if I'm reading this right. 10, 20, 30.
Number 40,
Yeah, yeah.
only four matches tonight instead of the usual five that they've had. Um, but
Yeah.
that's okay. First match is Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. This here, and I was telling you this, this here I believe was what they were going to, no, they did lead on to a tag match at SummerSlam, and they uh, confirmed that actually. Let me,
Yeah, they confirmed it
okay, yep,
last
it is
night.
definitely listed in the matches here. So, and Jelly Roll has lost a lot of weight.
He has. For those of you who didn't get to watch it, Jelly Roll was with Randy Orton and Logan Paul was with Drew McIntyre on the outside of the ring.
Yeah. Um, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, you know that's going to be a good match, and it was. Um, it was also the shortest match of the night, surprisingly. And Randy stole the win after the whole thing with Logan and Jelly Roll. And then at the end of the match, Logan is beating up on Randy. Jelly Roll comes over, he gets physical, and he hits Logan. And I'm thinking, okay, I think this is actually going to be good here with Jelly Roll. They say that he had been training. I just hope, especially considering this in the month of August, because Road Wild, if you remember that event, the WCW pay per views, Road Wild or Hog Wild, whichever one they
Oh,
call
wow. It was Biker at Sturgis,
it.
right? Yeah.
One year they had Jay Leno in the tag match. Another year they were doing a bunch of basketball players. They didn't really have good matches, so I'm kind of hoping here with Jelly Roll they will have a good match.
Well, I don't see him being, and it may surprise me, I don't see him being at the same level as Logan Paul by no means.
No, no, he won't. Well,
But
some of some of the full time wrestlers are not on the level.
on Logan Paul's level, yeah.
Yeah,
As far as what he can do in the ring,
right. Yeah, Logan, he's amazing for the limited amount of experience that he's had. But he also has a ring set up somewhere where he can practice moves and this, that, and the other. So you can tell Logan Paul has put in the work to be a wrestler. It's just that a lot of people don't like the fact that he's not full time like all the others.
right?
And I get that. But every time Logan Paul comes in, you know you're going to have a great match.
Hmm.
So they must be feeling really, really good with bringing Jelly Roll into it. Like you said, he may surprise us.
He might.
Yeah. Logan Paul surprised us. Bad Bunny surprised us.
Eh, that wasn't him. Never mind. That wasn't who I was thinking. Never mind. Thinking
It,
about that guy that popped Cody in the ear.
I would much rather have Jelly Roll instead of Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot more people like Jelly Roll because they don't like Travis Scott. Just because Travis Scott's got 30 million followers, that doesn't mean he's got 30 million people that actually like the guy.
Right, and from what I'm been reading on Jelly Roll, he went to the floods in Texas and he had donated a bunch of money for that. He was actually uh, went down there to talk with some of the people and help out.
Oh, I hadn't read that.
Right.
So
That real quick, make sure I'm right on that.
I'm definitely I am looking forward to that match. I'm curious to see how Jelly Roll is going to be. Um, and we also saw him get physical last year at SummerSlam with Austin Theory. So I would like to see that. Holy cow! 10 minutes before the pre-show starts. Uh, Next match: Solo Sequoia defending the United States title against Jimmy Uso. Michael Cole made a comment during the match that this is the second time ever that Jimmy Uso has had a shot at a singles title in his 15-year career. I don't even remember what the first time was, but he said that this is the second time that he's had a shot at a singles title and didn't even mention who he faced the first time. So I have no idea if it was the U.S. title, the Intercontinental, or one of the world titles. Um, Not surprising to see Solo win, although I would have liked to have seen Jimmy get a singles title since Jay did. And I think this could have been a historic match because I can't recall a championship changing hands from brother to brother ever.
Hmm.
Um, so I would have liked to have seen that just so that they can say they did it. Um,
Yeah, I just looked up that Jelly Roll. There's mixed reports on that, on him going donate money and going down there. Mixed reports. So I don't know if it's true or not. Don't want to throw out false information. I really thought that Jimmy was going to wind up winning this match, um, giving him that singles title. But I see,
mhm.
the direction they're going with it. We talked about earlier in the show. So I'm surprised that we didn't see. Uh, we just saw Jacob come out and not
Yeah,
Jay as well. I really expected to see Roman show up.
I was suspecting that too. Um, because I can't imagine them doing SummerSlam without Roman. But then again, they did technically do that last year. He didn't have a match, but he only showed up for the last 5 minutes.
Right. So
So
I expect to see him at SummerSlam.
I would expect so too. Um, maybe this run here that Solo's getting is something that they feel that he deserved, which I agree he does deserve it with what he's done over the last few years. But at the same time, I would like to see Jimmy have a run at something.
He deserves it.
Yes. Uh, he is every bit as talented as Jay is. Although, when you put those two one on one, the match was terrible.
The super kick, just constant super kick, super kick. And that's one of the things I see in their matches is a lot of, how many super kicks can you throw in a match?
Right. Um,
Which he did hit Solo with a couple solid ones. It was like, good God, that was bad.
he
But
did.
you could see in a split second where Solo was bringing his hand up, to take the shot.
Yeah. Um, but I think this will end up being the thing that's going to lead to okay, Jay's going to start coming out, and then we'll get Roman. Maybe Roman will come back at SummerSlam just like he did last year.
I
So
can see that.
yeah, I don't know. All right, the next match.
LA Knight versus Seth Rollins.
It was starting out to be a really good match, and then tragedy hits.
Yeah, Seth does a somersault off the rope and lands on his knee, and immediately you can tell something was wrong. He falls in a corner,
Well,
starts.
he did the swanton dive first.
Mhm.
And as he was getting up, if you watch closely, you can see his knee was kind of buckling in then.
Okay,
And it's probably because of everything moving so fast paced. And then when he landed, that it popped.
that popped it.
Um, and Michael Cole also mentioned that Seth was favoring that same knee Monday night when he had a match against Penta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think this is a work. I may be wrong, but just the way the match ended seemed to me like he's not tapping out. He's just going to go ahead and say, "All right, let's take it home. I'm injured. Let's
yeah.
get it done." It just it was one of those you
The
can
look
tell
on
if you
LA's
watch
face
wrestling a
too.
long time. Do what?
Yeah, the look on LA's face too.
Yeah, you could tell something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Just the way the whole thing played out. But he finally gets up after doctors look at him for a second, and
I did see some fan footage where they helped him walk back to the backstage area.
that he was cussing.
Yeah. Uh, I will say there was one spot where it looked like he was walking on his own power. So maybe his knee may not be as bad as we think it is. I don't know.
Could be very badly sprained. There's just so many different things. I mean, dealing with knee issues myself. I mean, I've gotten some torn in my right knee right now. That hurts 95% of the day. So bad I can't walk without thinking.
Yeah.
And it's rough. Um, I've had
Yeah.
three knee
I don't
surgeries.
know
I've
if
had
this
two.
is the same knee that he had surgery on a few years ago. I
Yeah,
can't remember which knee it was.
I've had two on one and one on the other. And I need a third on this other one. Um,
So you can relate.
yeah, I can relate. It's hard to get around. There's only now it's some laying in bed at night. There's certainly certain positions I can put it in where it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Um, so like right now, it's fine. I'm sitting down. I got it stretched out. But as soon as I get up and start moving around, it starts hurting. It's just I fear that it might be bone on bone because I've already had two meniscus surgeries already. So I'm feeling that's probably what it is.
A lot of people were commenting saying that, oh, this is the work. He's going to come out and, you know, Goldberg's going to beat Gunther and then Seth will be beating Goldberg. And I was looking at comments today and people replying to those, well, that didn't age well.
Right, right. I saw some of those same things and like
Yeah.
and I think kind of lead into the next match with Gunther and Goldberg. Uh, it was setting up to be a decent match, and but the ending just was just to have Goldberg tap out or pass out. He didn't tap out, pass out in his last match is I don't know.
Well,
How else could you have done it though? I mean,
it kind of makes sense because now
he didn't get pinned,
Goldberg can't say I got pinned in my last match.
right?
So I can see
Right.
that. I'm also guessing that they may have changed everything because of what happened with Seth.
Yeah,
To me, it made perfect sense. Goldberg wins, Seth comes out, and this kind of gives Goldberg the going out on top.
but also losing when Seth cashes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
see that happening.
what I really liked is when they did the banging on the door and people walking him out.
Oh
That
yeah, you had the old crew.
yeah, his son Gage was there.
Hmm.
Doug Dillinger, the old head of security, was there.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was still alive.
I
I thought
didn't either.
he passed.
Uh, God, what is that wrestler? He was
And
a black wrestler. Called
the
him
other,
the Cat.
yeah, Ernest Miller.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
I thought I recognized him, and then I saw later on a post. I was like, I thought that was him. It's like
yeah,
that's cool.
I was the same way too. I was, wait a minute, is that who I thought it was? So
Yeah, that whole leading out was good. Um, it was a decent match. It could have been. better in my opinion, but there again, Goldberg's old.
I
Like
thought it was
in
Goldberg's best match in
a
years.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, People were saying that this is the longest match that he's had in 20 some years.
Oh, I can imagine because I mean, we're hyping, early WCW days or not early WCW, but early in his career. I mean, his matches were less than a couple of minutes.
I know.
Yeah, we
Uh,
just come in, destroy him, and go home.
They said that the last match that he had that went on this long was when there was a triple threat with him, Kane, and Triple H. So that was 20 plus years ago. Um,
So, and I don't know, he was out of the game for so long. Why do you necessarily need a retirement match? You hadn't had a match in years. And then all of a
well,
sudden,
Vince was supposed to give him an actual retirement match, which I thought was the one with Roman. That was his last match before this. But according to what Goldberg was saying, that wasn't the agreement. He was going to have the match with Roman.
uh,
He was going to have an actual retirement match.
well, and with the whole agreement and all that, hey, we want you to come out, and we're going to be in Atlanta, so let's do something with Goldberg since he's from there. Let's, you know, throw him some money and get him back in the ring for. I'm sure he doesn't need the money.
And I think eventually we're going to see his son Gage get involved in wrestling.
I agree.
Yeah, he already looked like he's got the build for it. Um, and then he was about to get involved with Gunther before the people.
Security
Yeah.
got him. Yeah,
Uh, the one thing that I did not like was as soon as the match is over, they went into a commercial, and this
yeah,
was 3 minutes before the end of the show. They go into a commercial, and they come back, and there's a whole bunch of people in the ring. Um, Let Goldberg talk, and he only spoke for like 20 seconds before they cut.
yeah.
Like,
I watched the replay of it. I didn't watch the commercial. As soon as the commercial came on, I just cut it off. I guess I'm done. Um,
yeah, but
he is
there's
50.
also fan footage of Goldberg speaking beyond that. Apparently, he went on for like 5 minutes.
Really. That's
So
good. They gave him at least gave him well. They didn't give him that, but the fans gave us that.
yeah, but they should have done that all on TV. So
Correct.
I would, if I was him, I would not have liked the way that they did that. But he wouldn't have known in the moment.
Right. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
But ultimately, I thought that this was Goldberg's best match in a very long time. Gunther made him look really good.
Yeah. It was a good solid match. Now
Yeah.
compare the last two matches. The show wasn't everything I thought it could be. I don't. I don't. I don't know how much longer they'll do this SummerSlam or this SummerSlam. Do this Saturday Night's Main Event until they just kind of pull it again.
Well, the thing with LA and Seth, that couldn't be helped.
Yeah. It's just
Um, that's just one of those things where accidents happen.
Yeah, it's just and I watched a video of Chris Jericho. It was an old video with him talking to somebody and talking about Vince coming out saying yes, it's fake, and he was kind of upset with that. It's like it's not fake; it's predetermined. He said we're stuntmen. At any point in time, I can get injured at what we do. You there?
Yeah. Yes, Chris. Goldberg had a good match last night. He wasn't. 3 or 4 minute match. That match went on for 15 minutes.
It was a decent match.
Yeah. Um, and what was funny was that when Gunther was chopping him, Goldberg was just smiling.
Staring at him.
Yeah.
And there's a couple pictures out on social media of that with the hand on his chest, and you can see the ripples, and Goldberg was sitting there
Oh
smiling
yeah. Yes. Nobody can say that Gunther took it easy on him. He did not. He did not take it easy on Goldberg. That's for sure. But yeah, I thought I really enjoyed that match. I just don't like the whole commercial thing that the way that they did it because they what they should have done was ended the match sooner, then maybe have the commercial and give Goldberg the last 5 or 6 minutes to talk,
him. Yeah,
like
I agree on
on
that.
the show, not off the air. But it is what it is.
I'm making some notes here.
Okay.
Which time we got?
So the countdown show for Evolution is on right now. I don't know if it's a. I'm going to guess it's a 2 hour countdown because this thing is slated for 6 hours total. So so let's just run down the matches really quick and
That's what I was.
predict who's going to win. Um, and I'm not even going to try to figure out which match is going first. So I'm just going to go by what they got
I
listed.
think the battle royal is going to go first.
Huh?
I think the battle royal is going to be first.
Um,
Or Trish and Stratton.
it'll end up being the Intercontinental title triple threat first.
Triple threat. Becky, Bailey, and Lara. Yeah. We
So
got seven matches.
Becky Bailey and Lyra, who do you got?
uh, I'm gonna say Becky. Becky's gonna keep it.
Becky.
Yeah,
I'm
and Bailey and Lyra is gonna start a feud with each other.
I'm going with Bailey. This her winning the title could be her compensation for missing WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can see your point on that one.
All right, going up the line here, Jade and Naomi. I am going to go with Naomi on this because I think Becky Bianca will turn on Jade and give Naomi the win.
I agree on that. I'm going with the same,
Okay.
and the same outcome. I'm looking at.
Up next is Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratosphere.
Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus. Um, I think Tiffany will wind up winning that one.
She'll probably end up winning because I don't know if this will end up being Trish's retirement match, although they haven't said anything, but they don't always say it.
Right.
Uh, I think it'll end up being Tiffany, but who knows? They may give it to Trish so that she can have that one more world title.
And it could get cashed in from Naomi.
Good point. Yes, good point.
She could cash in on her right then, right there.
Okay, so how about this? Trish wins and Naomi cashes.
Oh, here's another kicker. What if Trish winds up winning, Naomi cashes in, beats Trish, and now the Jade Naomi match becomes a dang title match?
Ooh, I like that.
and Jade winds up winning. Or no, well, Naomi. Well, we talked about Naomi getting winning because of Bianca.
Nate is
And
already guaranteed a title shot. So I like that. I like that. So let's go. So I'm gonna go with Trish winning and Naomi cashing.
I'm gonna stay with Tiffany. I think. I mean, still got it. I mean, that's a possibility of it happening. Um, and if Oscar, yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with Trish.
Up next is the Battle Royal. Now, this one here, the winner of this will get a championship match at Clash in Paris.
That's just
Um,
too many variables in there. I couldn't pick a winner.
well, let's go down the list who they got. They got Stephanie Vakir, Ivy Nile, Nia Jax, Nikki Bella, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Lash Legend, Izzy Dane, Tatum Paxley, Zelina Vega, Julia, Candice LeRae, B Fab, Meechin, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and Albert Fire.
Stephanie Valkyria. Stephanie Val. Shit, Valkyria.
Back here,
Yeah, Stephanie Valkyria. I'll be your winner.
I'm gonna I'm gonna nail my choices to three. It'll either be Stephanie, Nikki Bella, or somebody from NXT. And
I
if
don't
it,
think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna give it. I don't think they're gonna give it to your older roster. I think it's gonna be somebody new.
you never
Uh,
know.
NXT.
Look at Trish. She's got a title match.
Yeah, but
She's
we're counting on them cashing in on it.
yeah.
That's the only reason I see her winning.
But I'm going with either Stephanie, Nikki, or anybody from NXT. And if it's anybody from NXT, it'd be a tie between Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker.
Connie Jordan, I would see more than anybody else.
And for those who don't know, Kalani Jordan just recently got engaged to Carmelo Hayes.
Did not know that.
Yeah. All right. Moving up, we actually talked about this. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus Soruka and Zarya versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. I'm going with Charlotte and Alexa.
That's who I'm going with.
Yeah.
My next pick would be Soluka and
Zarya.
yeah, Zarya. Can you remember
That
her name?
that would be really cool to see. So just so that they can have somebody with multiple championships, like what that
Yeah,
I would like to see that.
I'm going
Io
with
Sky
Soluka.
defending the women's title against Rhea Ripley. I'm going to Rhea.
Mm, I'm going with Rhea with some kind of outside interference. I don't know who. I don't know where.
The only person I can think of that would interfere would be Raquel or Roxanne.
I could see Raquel, which they just had a match. I mean, so maybe it's not completely over between them two.
And I also see that match being the main event. Although I think, well, no, because if no, it would have to be that because if Naomi ends up cashing on Trish, That means Naomi and Jade would have to have a match earlier in the night.
Right. Yeah,
So
I can see Tiffany and Trish being the main event, and then having the whole cash in at the end of it.
that'd be the only other way. So one of the world title will be. There you go. Rhea has already headlined a pay per view and won. So why not Tiffany and Trish, and then Naomi coming in, and she's the one celebrating as the show goes off.
Hmm.
See that? So, but we'll find out in a few hours. And then finally, we had JC Jane defending the NXT Championship against Jordan Grace. I'm going Jordan on this one
I am also. So
because
we're
Jordan.
mixing Becky and Bailey, but everything else were the same kind of on. The Royal Rumble was just a crapshoot on pick somebody on that.
If Jordan wins, I can see a program now with her and Blake because Blake also pinned JC.
Correct.
So, all right. Okay.
Uh,
Well, this is going to be interesting.
an hour and 41 minutes.
I know we almost made it.
Well, think about it too. I mean, we covered a lot on this show.
Yes, we did. We covered three pay per views and also did a preview.
Yeah, that's a record for this amount of time. This would have usually took us 3 hours.
Yeah. So I would say we what's the phrase? Bang for your buck or what is? It?
Yeah, we're getting better.
Yeah. So
Staying
yeah,
on topic a lot.
it.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
We
So
only got off a little bit with the Amish stuff, but
okay. On that thought, hang on a second.
oh goodness, I know what it was doing. So that PLE is going to happen here very soon. Check us back on our next show, which will be determined, and we'll do a review of the actual show of Evolution.
Okay, so here we go.
It needs to be taller.
So do I have that look?
You got it even more now, but the thing is bent. I don't think they bend their hats.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Still bent a little bit. Just turn it sideways where the bend is not facing the camera.
I can't.
Turn
It
it backwards.
it wouldn't really fit right.
Turn it backwards.
Actually, this is backwards.
Well, then turn it the right way.
Yeah, because I got this little thing right here.
Now that's without the little logo on it. That's Amish.
It's
Where's the pitchfork?
here's my pitchfork. So all right. Well,
Well, they're not trying to offend the Amish. Not that they'd be watching anyway, because they don't have a TV or internet or computers.
like I said, I just shaved this off this morning because I want to keep my mustache small. I
You remind me of the Bunsen version of an Amish on Kingpin. Remember
oh
the movie Kingpin?
I was actually thinking of Amish Paradise, Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, that's a good one too. You know, like towards people don't. If you ever watched the video of that, towards the end of it, he's recording everything in reverse. So he's back walking. When they're recording, he's walking
Yeah,
backwards. The
yeah,
chickens and everything are going backwards,
yeah.
and it's like how he's singing the stuff backwards. As far as like when he filmed it, so the lips were like in sync with it, like crazy.
There was something on PBS when I was a kid. It was some scientist, and it was like a 5 minute clip that they did every day. Like some kind of scientist, he'd be. They filmed him walking backwards and talking and reversed it. It I
Hmm.
can't remember what it was called. I used to watch a lot of PBS stations when I was a kid,
Oh, I
and
did too.
that was one of the things there. He was like a scientist or a doctor or somebody.
Did he talk really weird? Like, now we're going to take this chemical, but
It was.
scratchy voice.
I don't remember the voice.
Oh, this guy, you would have remembered his voice. It was
I,
like he was a bad smoker.
I just remember. I just remember that like he was walking and talking normal, but everything around him was all backwards. Like just like what they did with Weird Al in that video. Yeah, filming him backwards, walking backwards, and then reverse it. That's what they did with this guy on PBS. For the life of me, I cannot think of the name of it. I'm sure I can probably find it by
Oh,
looking
yeah.
because I used to watch PBS a lot because I always enjoyed watching Wishbone, the talking dog, and MathNet.
I'm just a little older than you, so I was watching stuff like 321 Contact. When I was really young, I watched Dang Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
Electric Company was another good one.
and now I'm not even sure if PBS is still a thing anymore or not.
I don't think so, but you can find a lot of those old videos on YouTube.
Let's,
Ghost Rider. Did you ever watch Ghost Rider?
oh yeah, yeah. I used to watch that one a lot too. Uh,
Show about PBS.
it looks like PBS is still going.
Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Green Jeans.
Captain Kangaroo and Mister Rogers were on PBS.
I know Captain Kangaroo was at one point.
I thought they were on actual channels. I'm looking at the PBS thing here on.
Yeah,
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 apparently
I remember
Sesame.
that.
Yeah, Mister Rogers was on it. Uh, Barney was on it. Arthur.
That was later in the '90s, I would guess.
Yeah,
I quit watching PBS, when I got older.
but
That nostalgia of 321 Contact and Electric Company, very
evidently
bad
it's still
acting.
going on. You can see it on DirecTV Stream, Hulu,
What was he?
Video, and YouTube TV.
Chris said Sammy Jackson was on Electric Company. I have to look that up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a long way from Snakes on the Plane, ain't it? Do
So
what, Jeremy?
okay, let's call it a day because the show's getting ready to come on.
All right.
Yeah.
This has been your wrestling and PBS hour.
The what?
Your wrestling and PBS hour.
Right. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Watch Evolution. I'm really looking forward to it. This They should not have waited 7 years to do another one. Hopefully, this thing will be an annual event, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll catch you on the next show. I know I have to work next Saturday and Sunday, so I won't be able to do anything on that day. So we'll
Next
come up
Saturday.
with something maybe Wednesday.
Uh, yeah, next Sunday will probably be the best bet. The following Sunday, yeah.
Following Sunday, I'll be out of town. We can do one Wednesday and just have it broadcast on next weekend.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for playing along with us today, and enjoy your evolution and enjoy your Amish paradise.
See ya.
Have a good day.